Hello everyone, my name is Beth and this is my FlossTube channel Busy Bee Stitches. You've made it to another stash dive video in my series that I am enjoying so much, and I hope you are too. If you have not watched any videos in this series yet, pause this video and go to my channel. There's a playlist of videos from this series, and go back and watch the intro video. The rest of the videos you should be able to watch out of order, no problem, but the intro video explains this whole system, explains what these videos are trying to do, and so any questions you may have may already be answered in that intro video. Beyond that, I have gotten a bunch of questions both in the comments of my videos and over on Instagram. I'm at BusyBeeSillyMe on Instagram. I'll also put that in the description below. And I've gotten so many questions about this video and about a few of my other recent videos, and I love those. I'm always happy to answer questions, so keep them coming. Questions on any of those platforms, I'll find them and answer them. And yeah, any questions are always welcome. And if I get questions about the same thing enough times, then I may make an entire video about that topic. I already have a few sort of in the pipeline of things that people keep asking about, and so I definitely want to make a video to address those questions. So this video in particular is going to be exploring my the patterns in my stash that are winter themed and that are sort of like yearly themed, where you know it goes across an entire year, whether seasonally or monthly or something like that. And that yearly category is relatively small, and what I'm doing with these videos is when I've got these more like small categories, I'm combining them together or tacking them on with larger categories so that I'm not making like 10-minute videos for you guys. And of course, the yearly category felt like it fit in very nicely in January because we're all sort of getting a new start for the year and looking at all those yearly series that maybe we might want to start. So we're going to start with my yearly patterns, then we'll go into the winter ones, and I'm going to go by size category again. I think this time I'm going to go largest size to smallest size. So a refresher on that is I organize my my patterns by size. I do like 50 stitch size chunks. I square off the dimensions of my patterns, and that's the size category it goes in. So the first category I have is anything more than 250 stitches square. That's going to be in my BAP size. So these yearly charts are a little challenging because they're made up of smaller parts, and so the small parts, you know, have a size, and then all together into one large chunk that's a much larger size. And so I kind of have to decide whether I'm gonna stitch them in individual pieces or if I'm gonna stitch them as one large chunk. And I also think about, like, even if I'm gonna stitch them as little pieces, am I gonna consider this project done with only some of the pieces done? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So that affects how I categorize the size of these pieces. And in the program that I use, which is Google Keep, I am able to use multiple tags. So sometimes I will tag something with 2 different sizes so that, you know, if I'm doing a search, it'll come up in both because I haven't made a decision yet, or because I'm not really sure yet, or I just want to be able to find it easily. So with that being said, let's start with the only pattern I have in the BAP size category in my in this yearly patterns group, which is Joyful World by Snowflower Diaries. This is a set of 12 individual monthly patterns. Hopefully I'm showing you a picture on the screen of what they look like. Now I plan to do these probably in 12 individual pieces, but this is one of those that like, I'm not going to consider this project done until I've done all of them. I'm not going to do some of them and then leave the rest. I'm going to do all of them. And so for me, this feels like one project, even though it's a bunch of, you know, it's 12 little pieces. So I've put it in the BAP category for now, but I also have it tagged as a small in case I change my mind in the future. I absolutely love this set of patterns. I don't know if I said, this is by Snowflower Diaries. Each of these individual ones is 99 by 73. So those are in my small category. So each of these is gonna be a relatively small stitch, which is going to, I think, make this huge project feel much more manageable. And the thing I love about this series is not only is it super cute, but I am not super into the traditional monthly look of like, you know, January is always a snowman or a snowflake, February is always a heart, March is always a clover. Like, I just am not super into those. And so when I saw this pattern, I was so taken aback because it's so different. But all of the animals are very cute and many of them are very fitting for the month that they've been chosen for. And so I just really love it and I think it's super cute. And I believe it's free. I'm almost certain that this was a free series that you can still get. I think you can get it from the Snowflower Diaries website. So yeah, this huge piece or set of pieces is free. So love that, love that. So that was my only BAP size. Let me pull up the next size. So my next smallest, or my next largest category is the huge size. And that is anything from 201 to 250 stitches square. So the first pattern I have in that size category is a Greyhound Year by the Blue Flower. I have this physical copy here. Hopefully you can see without the glare on my page protector. But this is another monthly series that I plan to do all in one. This one I actually do plan to do all in one piece of fabric because it's just really cute with the border, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's little animals inside there. They're so cute. So this one I definitely will do as one piece of fabric. And all the different greyhounds they're wearing different costumes and they're in different environments with different props, and I just think this is so cute. I have loved this pattern for a while and I ended up buying it while I was at StitchCon over the summer. They had a Blue Flower trunk show, and so I just had to grab it while we were there. And it's hard to decide what my favorite one is, but I think it's gotta be the March dog in the raincoat. Or sorry, yeah, that's March, yeah, in the raincoat. He's just so cute. And the other pattern I have in the huge category is Flowers of the Month by Ellen Moristro. I think that's how you say her name. I found out about this pattern from Jessie Marie Does Stuff on YouTube. She, I believe, just finished it this past year, and hers looks amazing, and so I knew I wanted to do it too. She did it all on one piece of fabric, and I think that's probably how I would want to do it too. So I'm keeping it in the huge category for now, and I really like the way that she did it, where she added the names of the flowers like into the border. So I may try and do something similar to that. But each of these blocks are fairly small. They're 63 by 63 stitches. So that puts them in my small category. But again, I'm gonna do it all in one, so I'm leaving this in the huge category. Okay, now we have large, which I don't have any yearly large patterns, so my next category would be medium. So medium patterns are anywhere from 101 stitches to 150 stitches square. And I have a cup, and I just have one of those, looks like. This pattern, I'm gonna show you a picture, and I know this picture is gonna be small, but it's like the pattern, so I don't want to show it off. This is the Victoria Sampler Monthly Sal from 2021. This was free on their Facebook group, which if you like Victoria Sampler, you should definitely join their Facebook group. They do freebies, they do free sales every year, I think. And this sal was just so cool. I didn't start it all last year, but I so enjoyed watching the sal come out and downloading it and thinking about how I want to do it. I think this one I'm gonna do on individual pieces, just because I think it's a little bit busy altogether. But they are varying sizes, so they're not gonna do great on like an interchangeable frame type of situation, so I'll have to think about how I want to do that. But I just think this is so cool. And the interesting thing about this, the reason I don't have like a model picture to show you is because they were very much like, pick your own colors, make this however you want. Now, I find that a little bit intimidating, but it will definitely stretch me out of my comfort zone to every time have to pick new colors. I think that's the other reason why I want to do them separately, is because by separating them, I don't have to worry so much about like making a cohesive story across the whole pattern with my colors. I think I can just pick the colors that make the most sense for that block and move on to the next one. The other awesome thing about this pattern and about Victoria Sampler in general is that they're full of specialty stitches, which I love. And honestly, I'm more intimidated by picking my own colors than I am by the specialty stitches. I think the specialty stitches are fun and interesting and an exciting challenge. And the instructions in each of these patterns are so detailed for how to do the specialty stitches, so I'm not worried about the ones that I have never done before. And it's not like the entire thing is specialty stitches, so you know, it paces you. It's not, you know, there's like one or two interesting specialty stitches in each block and the rest is just cross stitch. So I think that's a really good intro to specialty stitches if you're interested in trying them but have never done it before. And this pattern is super easy to modify to whatever you want. So if you don't like one of the specialty stitches, you can just switch it out for a stitch you do like, or for crosses, or whatever you want. This pattern they really designed so that you can make it your own. The biggest change that I plan to make on this pattern is that what month is it? January, February, March, April, May. It's the June pattern is wedding themed. It's got like a wedding arch. What do you call that? I don't know what you call that. And I am not getting married in June. I'm getting married in October. So I don't really want to do the June theme, the June wedding theme. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I looked through the group and I saw a couple of people that changed their June one to something else, but nothing like super stood out with me. So I may have to ponder on that and do a little bit of work to figure out how I'm going to make that June pattern fit better for my life. But the rest of them I think are really cute, and I will probably stitch relatively close to as is. All right, moving on to the small size. I've just got one in this category as well. This is 4 seasons, and this is a strange one. This pattern is sort of designed by Rebecca Lind Phoenix, and sort of arranged by me, and sort of inspired by Peppermint Purple. I'll explain. So Peppermint Purple does a blackwork sal every year. I believe they started in 2020, and so they're onto their 3rd year of doing them. And I participated in part of the 2021. I did not continue through the whole thing, not because I wasn't enjoying it, just because I had other projects that I was focused on. But there is a like community around the blackwork sal that's really fantastic, and there are like borders around the outside of the design in 2021, and there are like different configurations for the sal, which makes the border like a different configuration, and people just went wild designing their own borders and then sharing them in the group, which was super great. And I think they are also shared onto the Peppermint Purple website in like the sal member group. I don't remember if you have to like get access to that by being in the Facebook group or something. I don't remember. But Rebecca Lind Phoenix designed this border that was available for free to participants of the sal. And at that point, I was not doing the 2021 sal, but I saw that border in the Facebook group and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I love that enough that I would stitch that just on my own, just as is, without the whole sal. So, and I don't know, I think I showed what the pattern that I intend to stitch looks like. Let me show also what Rebecca's borders look like. She uploaded a picture of them stitched. So that's her concept, and I do not want to take credit for her work at all. The only thing that I did was I took her pattern and I like chopped off some of the arms of the borders and then stuck it all together so that it made more of a rectangle shape that would make sense as its own standalone thing to stitch. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for creating this, for sharing it with us. It was so kind of you, and I cannot wait to stitch this up. I think it's awesome. And when I decided I wanted to do this, I like went into hyper focus mode. I like printed it out and like cut it out so I could figure out how it was gonna fit together, and then I redrew it onto some pattern software so that I made sure it all like lined up the way that I wanted it to. So I had a lot of fun reorganizing that. All right, and finally in the mini category, so these are patterns that are up to 50 stitches square. So this is actually a series of minis, and I've decided to count this as multiple minis as opposed to one larger pattern, because I don't intend to do all of these, and I'm happy to do as many as I get to and not do whatever else I don't get to. So this is A Prairie Year by Prairie Schooler. And the ones that I plan to do that really speak to me are this watermelon for August, and this pumpkin for October, this turkey for November, and the Santa for December. So the rest of them I probably won't do, but they're in my stash if one day they speak to me for some reason. But yeah, I think they're cute. And really it was like the pumpkin and the watermelon that spoke to me the most, that made me buy this pattern in the first place. All right, that was it for, let me just double check that I got them all. Yep. All right, that was it for my yearly patterns. So let's jump in now to winter patterns. And of course I had to wear my like grandpa Nordic winter sweater for this video because autumn is my favorite season, but winter is very close behind. I really like winter, and I really like the aesthetics of winter. Really the only thing about winter is that sometimes it goes a little long. Sometimes I get bored of winter. All right. I'm just pulling up my search for the sizes. No BAPs in the winter category. Good to know. All right, I actually have some kits in this category, so I gotta grab those. Give me one sec. All right, so in the huge size category of my winter patterns, first one up is this Owl Forest kit. I know the picture is really small here, so I'm gonna put another picture here of what this will look like finished. This is called, is it called something in English? It's called Snowy Winter in English. And it's in, there's a whole series of these. I'm looking to see if it has the name of the series, but I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. But there's a whole series of these. I have more than one. I don't have all of them, but I have more than one. And I just love this. The colors to me are just so lovely. The purples and the blues and the greens. Ugh, I just love them. But this is a big boy. It's not a small pattern. All right, also in the huge category, we have by Heartstring Samplery, we have Hibernation Day. Now, this is a horrible picture on the chart, and the picture online that I have found is also horrible. I wish I had a better picture to show you of what it looks like, but I think this pattern is secretly beautiful. But I love the quote on it so much that like usually I have to see a pattern, someone stitching a pattern that has a horrible picture and be like, oh, actually that's really pretty. This one I'm willing to give it a chance, regardless of never having seen it stitched, because I love the quote on it that much. And I really do think it will stitch up beautifully. But the quote is, I love the snap of winter air and snowflakes on my face, and snowdrifts make the world disappear without a trace. The picture is this bad that I'm having a hard time reading it. I'll take a day dressed in pajamas in a room without a view if I can spend the day curled up next to you. Let's have a hibernation day, me and you. I love it so much. And it's just got some really beautiful winter neutrals in there. So yeah, I really like this, and I would really, really love to start that. Okay, moving on to my large category. Okay, starting with a pattern that I got from the World of Cross Stitch magazine, from the Christmas 2021 issue. This is probably supposed to be a Christmas pattern, but honestly nothing in it really shouts Christmas at me, so I've put it in the winter category. There are a number of things like that in the Christmas and winter categories where I'm like, it could go either way, so I just picked. Whatever spoke to me, I picked. This is Robin's Hoop by Fiona Baker, and I just think it's really beautiful. And there's some really gorgeous half stitches, and the half stitches actually, like, there's some that go this way and some that go the other way, based on like the direction that the leaf is the direction that the leaves are going. So I think that's really cute. There's clearly a lot of backstitch going on in this pattern, but that doesn't scare me. I think it's super cute. And they're also like legit pom-poms that you sew on. Just like loose pom-poms that you add on for the berries, which I've never seen before and intimidates me a little bit, but I think is super cool and I don't think will be all that hard to do. Next, we have Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews. I plan to do the darker version, the darker fabric with the white snowflakes, and like I want to start this yesterday. I love this pattern so much. I love everything about it. I love the way the colors pop on, or the, you know, the white thread pops on the blue fabric. I just, I love it so much. I have it, I have the fabric in this Polar Express bag. I don't have threads pulled for it yet. I don't remember what threads it calls for. I pulled a 16 count Haunted. This is Haunted by Picture This Plus. That's what's called for. So that's what it looks like. Ugh. And it's not showing up on the video because of my light. It's not showing up quite as deep as it is in real life. And I need to warn all of you, do not be fooled by the pictures of this fabric on the internet. Everywhere you can buy this fabric, there are like some darker splotches of color in here. And like if you go on 123 Stitch, for example, to buy this fabric looks straight up blue and purple. And I was like, either this picture is wrong or Liz's picture is wrong. Like, who's wrong here? And so I just trusted Liz and I just ordered what she used, and then I was like, if I hate it, I'll use that fabric for something else and I'll find different fabric for this project. And of course, it was totally fine and no problem at all. So I don't know what is up with Picture This Plus's photo of that fabric, but it's not purple. I promise. Okay. Next. You would think I would put these in order, but I didn't do that. So we're going with it. Next, we have The Winter Garden by The Drawn Thread. And I believe this has some specialty stitches in it, which I am looking forward to. It's a little bit hard to tell in how small the picture is, but I've had this pattern for a long time. I started stitching in earnest in 2019, and I bet I've had this project since mid-2019. I think I probably was introduced to, I know when I found out about this. I encountered the Drawn Thread at Galleria in 2019, so in September. And I walked past some Drawn Thread models and I was just like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So I think I saw the Herb Garden and I was like, that looks maybe above my ability level at the moment, but that's so amazing. Let me file that away. And so then when I found out that there were more in this series, in this garden series, and I found the winter one, I was like, I don't care if I'm not ready to stitch this right now, I have to own it. So that when I am ready to stitch it, I will have it. And now I am plenty ready to stitch this. I just have to get my butt together and kit it so that I can start it. And of course, it's quite a large piece, and I'm, trying to whip down a little bit, so I have a feeling it will be a little bit of time before I get to it, but again, this is a project I could start right now or yesterday. Next, we have a kit. This is Christmas Moose by, this is a kit put together by Pana. And I first saw this pattern on Pam's Crafty Corner, And I was like, what is that? I need that right now. The cool thing about this pattern is most of it is cross stitch, but then the smoke coming out of people's houses are this like, I don't even know what material it is, but it's some kind of like fibrous, fluffy material that you tack down to the fabric somehow. It looks like it's felting wool. Is that what it is? Yep, I think it's felting wool. So this is a Russian kit. I'm really, really hoping that there are English instructions so that I don't understand how to attach the felting wool. But if there are not, then I will use my trusty translator app and do my best. But it comes with everything you need, including in there you can see the felting wool. I just think this is stupidly cute. And these little lights are beads. And the little lights all along the houses are beads. So, yeah, he's real cute. All right, next we have a bit of a controversial one for this category, but I'm gonna leave it in here. This is Fair Isle Friends by Tiny Modernist. The reason it's controversial for me is because each of these little animals is around 40 to 50 stitches square. And so that would put them in the mini category. But if I consider all 4 of them as one project, then it's in, what are we in? Are we in large? We are in, yeah, the large category. So, I mean, I have a feeling I'm going to want to do all of these because they're all really stinking cute. They are done on plastic canvas, which I've never used before. I think plastic canvas as opposed to, maybe they're perforated paper. Maybe they're actually perforated paper. I'm not sure. Either way, I've never used plastic canvas, and perforated paper I've only used in Mill Hill kits. I've never like bought my own perforated paper to use for a project. Not that I think that's particularly scary. That would just be a new thing for me. But I mean, the polar bear I think is my favorite. Even though I'm very much an owl person, like that polar bear just looks so cute. So yeah, these are gonna have to get pulled out someday, real soon, because I really, really like them. All right, again, we have a situation where this pattern is in the large category because there's more than one of them. These are Winterberry Snowflake ornaments by Panochka Northern Stitches. This is from, oh, I didn't write it down. This is from a Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I didn't write down which one, which is a big fail on my part. I really try to do that because otherwise I have to go searching through all of my magazines to figure out which pattern it's from. So I gotta write myself a note to go back and do that legwork now rather than like when I'm trying to find it, when it's like important. Okay, winter berries. And we'll get to why I should be keeping up with that at the end of this video. But I think these snowflakes are all very visually interesting. The berries are all different, which is very cute. And I don't think these are all that complicated. Like there's quite a bit of back stitching, it looks like, in the berries themselves, but that's a relatively small part of the pattern. And then the rest is just cross stitch around the berries for the snowflake part. So each of these is 80 by 80 stitches, and there's 4 of them. So that would put them in the small category, but I probably want to do the set, all 4. I have a thing for the white on natural color. I just think that is a really, really beautiful winter look. and very, very elegant, very delicate. Just, I love it. I love it. That is it for the large category, and as I was thinking that inside my head and also trying to type medium, I typed Marge. So let's get my brain together here and pull up the medium category. Okay. So first up in the medium category, so these are things that are between 101 and 150 stitches square. We have Frosty Friends by Praiseworthy Stitches. And this is another one where the picture is absolutely garbage. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's maybe even showing up on camera better than it's showing up in person. It's extremely blurry and you can't really tell that all of these are specialty stitches. Each line of the snowman is specialty stitches. And I saw the model for this stitched in, when I went to the Stitching Post in Maryland, and I immediately loved it. There are also lines of beads that are really cute. So that snowman I just think is completely beautiful. I'm not as into the words. I'm not like a super big fan of whimsical letters like that. So I may just only stitch the snowman, or maybe I'll like trim it so I only do the snowman and the lamp, because I think the lamp is cute. The lamp is a button. And I think also the red mitten and the nose are also buttons. And then the eyes and the, is this a mouth? They're also buttons, and the red buttons are also buttons. So it's very possible I only do the snowman and nothing else from this pattern, but I'm completely obsessed with that snowman and I need him in my life. Do I really only have 2 patterns in the medium category for winter? Goodness gracious. Let's find the other one. Okay, we have Hot Cocoa by Madame Chantilly. And I believe this comes with both of those patterns. But I think I will probably only do this one. And, oh, because I guess, like, this is the same mug as this one. So it's probably just 2 word options. But I really like these 2 blue mugs. So I will probably do that larger option. And I think it's really cute. And the really only thing that makes me annoyed about this project is that, can you see this? Let me show you an example. All right. Do I have a good example here? Here we go. All right. So here I have 2 sizes of patterns usually. I have like this full size pattern, and then I have this smaller size pattern. This pattern is bigger than the smaller size and smaller than the big size. So it has to float around in this huge page protector in my binder. Madame Chantilly, I don't like this. Please don't do this. It's okay. I will live. I will get past it. All right. Now we're into the small category, and this one is going to have the majority of my winter patterns in it. Yep. Okay. So first let's talk about the newest pattern to my stash of all of my patterns. This is Nordic, I think these are called Nordic Snowflakes by Rowe. I believe Amanda is a relatively new designer. I think she just released these like by DM on Instagram. She posted them on Instagram. People were like, oh my gosh, I need that. And so she charted them and then said, DM me if you want the chart. So I did that. I DM'd her, and she sent me all 5 little pillow charts. And they're very beautiful, and I am really looking forward to stitching them. So I have them in the small size because I could stitch any number of these or all of them, but I don't feel like I'll feel incomplete without having the whole set of them done, and I don't know if I will even display them all together, so that's why they're in the small category. So these range between 65 and 100 stitches square. Next, we have by Leela Studio. I think I'm saying that right now, but please correct me if I'm wrong. By Leela Studio, this is a series. The series is just called Seasons, I think, and this is the winter one. And this is my favorite one in the series. I have a thing for pine cones. And holly. Really, I have a thing for pine cones and holly, and this has both of them. And the color of this sled is very attractive to me. This really speaks to me. I really love it. I do have all of those, all 4 in the series, and I do plan to do all of them. Okay, next we have by the Drawn Thread, Winter Arbor. So this is a very similar vibe to Winter Garden. This one is just trees though. And I believe there are specialty stitches in this pattern also. It makes it so hard to tell from the picture because the picture is really not that clear. But I think this is a beautiful pattern. I saw the model for this at Keepsakes and immediately wanted it. I bought Winter and Summer maybe, which is super unlike me, but I think those are the 2 that I bought. But I really liked all of them, and I have a feeling that I will want to do all of them eventually. Because based on the size of my stash, when am I getting to all of these? And, you know, I go through my stash, and like 90% of these patterns that I'm pulling out to show you, I'm like, yeah, I would pull that out and stitch that right now. How am I supposed to choose? How? I need help. I need help. Someone help me. Okay. Next, I have Cedar Sampler by Elizabeth's Designs. I got this off the freebie table at StitchCon this past year. And again, this is me being a sucker for pine cones and specialty stitches. Are we noticing a theme? I mean, this is almost entirely specialty stitches. Mostly long stitches, but some eyelets and some satin stitch and some, I don't know what these are called, these little like long stitch fans. I'm not gonna focus, but I think it's really beautiful. The only thing I don't like about this pattern is the AB cedar. Like I don't feel like I need that, and I'll probably just skip that. I'll probably just cut that right out, and the pattern will not miss it. I ended up buying 2 things by Elizabeth's Designs. Well, not buying. I bought something by Elizabeth's Designs, and I picked this up off the freebie table. And I had never heard of Elizabeth's Designs before that trip, and I picked this up not realizing it was the same designer as something I had purchased earlier in the day. So, good information to file away that I like Elizabeth's Designs. I don't know if Elizabeth's Designs is like still designing patterns. Like clearly this is a relatively vintage pattern. This is copyrighted 1996. So I don't know if this company still exists. But I think they're at least still available to purchase. Okay, the next thing to show you, I have kitted up. This is Winter Welcome by Park Hopper Bart. I got this in the Nice List box by Black Needle Society this year. And because it came in the Nice List box, it came all kitted up. So I think, is this the fabric that was called for to go with it? Yes. So this is Fortnite Fabrics Winterberry in 32 count linen. And I put the DMC back in my full set of DMC because I don't kit my projects with the DMC, but I did leave in the 2 skeins of toile. This is just 310 and Blanc. So I don't know if like the whole, if all the white is in a toile or what. Yeah. Yeah, so almost all of this piece is in a toile, which I think is really great. And because this piece is relatively small and I've seen a bunch of people stitching it recently and I've been feeling some FOMO about it, this may end up being kind of a soon start. Because being almost all one color, this will stitch up so fast. And can I just say how excited I am to see Bart's designs in a Black Needle Society box? I'm just like so excited about that. What are you? Oh, I know what that is. Okay. Next, we have something from the Lakeside Needlecraft Winter Cross Stitch book from 2019. Let me see if I can find it in here. This is by far my favorite pattern out of this book. Here we go. Oh gosh. I'm not going to be able to show this because the model is on the same page as the pattern. So instead I'm going to put a picture on the screen of what this pattern looks like. This is Winter Tea by, I'm not going to say this right, Ajisai Designs. I'm pretty sure that's right, Ajisai Designs. And it's a combination of cross stitch and black work with tons of back stitch on the cross stitch as well. And this is an absolutely beautiful piece. I mean, this book was not cheap, but like it's got 60 designs in it, so like that makes it worth it. Honestly, for this one piece, this one chart, makes the book worth it for me. I love that chart so much. So again, as I said, these patterns are like, I would drop everything and stitch this tomorrow, except for I already have so many patterns going already. All right, from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament Edition in 2020, this is Christmas Cabin. I get my Just Cross Stitch digitally, so I have a picture here. This is Christmas Cabin by Kim Beamish, and it's very, very cool. It's got, I'm looking at the picture here on my phone while you are looking at it on my screen. It's got quite a lot of like blends and interesting textures going on in the grasses, which I think is so cool, in the trees. I just am a big, big fan of this little design here, and it's so small, so like the complexity is still very manageable because of the size. And again, we're in this situation where patterns that came out in 2019, because I don't really have any patterns from before that, where this is a problem, but 2019, 2020, 2021, all of those numbers are really easy to switch to 2022 because I still have all the numbers available to me. Once we get to 2023, then I have to start making up a charted 3, and no thanks to that. So, I may have to start prioritizing picking up these patterns that have dates in them where I don't want to put in the effort to rechart a number. Have to remember that. Next we have Birds and Snowflakes. This is from the Just Cross Stitch February 2020 edition. This is designed by Punochka. I believe I have another pattern saved designed by them. I don't remember which one it was. And so each of these little birds in snowflakes are in the small size. Maybe, I don't remember. So see, I'm not like the most consistent because the berries in the snowflakes I sized all as one, and these I sized all separately. Why did I do that? I feel like it should be one way or the other way. So I may end up switching one of these. I'll have to decide which one. Switching my size category to fit. And of course, it doesn't really matter. It only matters to me, but if I'm gonna have an organizational system, I'd like to stay consistent within the rules that I've created for that system. So, but anyway, I think this is cute, and the picture makes it really hard to tell what it actually looks like, but it's the same kind of idea as the berries in the snowflakes. I've forgotten now. Is that the same designer? I don't want to lose my spot and check. I can check this way. Yep, it's the same. So that's why I remember that designer name. It's the same designer, so same sort of idea. And I just think they're really cute. I think if I had to pick, maybe I like the berries slightly better. But that may also be because of the white is really hiding on the bluish gray fabric for the birds, and so maybe I would feel differently if that color was popping a little better. Next, we have the pattern that made me subscribe to Just Cross Stitch in the first place. This came from Just Cross Stitch February 2020. This is Cabin in the Woods by Tiny Modernist. When I saw this pattern, I was like, where do I get that? And I found out it came from Just Cross Stitch, and I was like, sign me up. I need that pattern. I don't care what else is in that magazine, I need it. So I do have it kitted. This is just DMC, so I don't have that in my project bag, but I do have some just simple gray fabric picked out. This is a scrap. I don't know what this fabric is, but I absolutely love this design, and again, I want to stitch it right now. Next, we have from Bothy Threads. This is a kit. This is Snowflake Tree in their Christmas card series. And these snowflakes are all black work with beads in between. And this would stitch up so fast. This would stitch up in, like, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, this is like definitely a single day stitch. Comes with everything you need, including the beads. It looks like there is metallic, like, blended with red to make the base of the tree. I don't think I would do that. I don't think I'm gonna do it that way. But yeah, I love that. I love it a lot. All right, we have from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, the Winter 2020 edition. This is Winter Cardinal Etching by Heart and Hand. This is in the same series as the Spring Hair that I did last year, and I really like this cardinal also. The trees in the background are really beautiful, and I just think this is a really unique and cool design. So, and amusingly enough, that Spring Hair is the reason I subscribed to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and so I never would have seen this pattern otherwise. But I really like it. Next we have Winter Glow by Mill Hill. This is one of the larger size kits by Mill Hill. And I saw a model for this stitched at Galleria 2019, and it was stitched on fabric. And I think I like that so much better than on the perforated paper. So that's what I intend to do, but I will probably stitch it on a similar sort of color. This is navy paper, so I'll probably do a navy, or I think the model picked out one of these slightly lighter blues to stitch it on. I think any of those would be pretty because this is entirely, you know, full coverage. So I bet even the, you know, it's kind of a toss-up because the white stitches, you won't have as much showing through if you pick a lighter fabric, but then you have these dark blue stitches where if you pick a darker fabric, you won't have as much showing through, so kind of a toss-up there. But I really like this. Next we have Underneath the Christmas Tree by Modern Folk Embroidery, and like, this is just a genius pattern to me. These deer are gorgeous, and then the, like, I don't know, is this a Nordic style snowflake? I think that's probably what this is. But I like the geometry of those snowflakes is so visually pleasing to me. Big fan of this pattern. See, so I have Winter Berries clearly tagged in both size categories because they came up again in my search for smalls. So either I need to tag the birds in snowflakes as the large size, or I need to pick one. I mean, I need to add the large size tag onto the birds and snowflakes, or I need to choose for both. Next, we have Winter is Coming, Mini Quaker by Stitches Through the Years. Or is it Stitching Through the Years? I typed Stitches Through the Years, but I don't know if that's right. I'll put it on the screen, whatever the correct way is. And they have a series of these little mini Quakers for different seasons, and I also have the autumn one, and I just think they're so beautiful. Again, we have these maybe it's a Quaker style, but these geometric snowflakes that are just extremely pleasing to me, and the leaping deer is gorgeous, and I love everything about this pattern. And finally, in my small size category, we have my last kitted up project. This is Pinecone by Brooks Books. This is in a series of patterns that she has. I forget all the details about this series. But I believe my Giving, I think it's called Giving Santa, that I showed in my Christmas stash dive is also from this series. And I just, everything about this pinecone is so pleasing to me. The pink accents, the pinecone itself, the specialty stitches for the long stitches for the pine needles. I just love it. I love it so much. I have it kitted on for just, a plain piece of 32 count platinum Lugana. And I have this kitted. Normally I wouldn't kit this type of thing with just, you know, a neutral, like if I'm not ready to stitch it right away, there's no reason to commit a piece of fabric to this project. But I intended to stitch it for 12 days of stitching last year, and I didn't get to it. So I have kept it kitted up as it was because I really would like to get to it. Okay, let's go into the final stretch here. We have my mini winter patterns. And I've only got a handful here. So starting with this piece from Just Cross Stitch June 2019. I don't know why we have a winter pattern in June, but we do. This is Cup of Winter. This is also by Pinochka. So, okay, we're noticing a pattern of a designer that I like that I didn't realize existed because I had never heard of them before. But now I have 3 of their patterns saved. So thank you very much for that. Anyway, so again, we have just the mix of black work and back stitching with cross stitch, and I just think that is so cool looking, and I really, really like it. I don't think I would FFO it like this. I think the FFO looks kind of strange, but the piece itself I think is beautiful. Next we have, by Lizzie Kate, we have this January Flip It. And this is the kind of thing that makes Athena from Stitching Goddess Designs crazy, because I just have this one. I don't have the whole series, and I don't intend to have the whole series. I don't even know if I'll actually stitch the word January. Maybe I'll rechart it and stitch like winter or something. I feel like something has to go there to fill the space, but because I don't intend this to be a monthly series, I'll probably change it and not say January. And I think, yeah, there's a little charm in here. The snowflake is a little charm. And I grabbed this off of a freebie table from somewhere, so I just thought the snowman was real cute. Speaking of cute snowman, we have the January edition of the Timely Trinket series. I have several of these, and to Athena's chagrin, I don't have the whole series, and I don't intend to have the whole series. But I really like this snowman, and it comes with the wooden box. And really, I picked what I wanted based on which boxes I wanted. And this has everything I need to stitch in it. And extremely annoyingly, it has the tiniest piece of fabric on the planet. So that's, you know, a big screw you to hoop and frame stitchers, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll make do. And I'm running out of batteries, so we'll see how far I can get. Next, we have out of the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas 2018 edition. I bought this from the bookstore, like, as the most baby stitcher. I was just like, ooh, this looks interesting, with no idea how into cross stitching I would become. And there are a number of things that I showed from this magazine, in my Christmas stash dive video, but there are a few here that are just winter specific. I am gonna hold it kind of far back from this camera because I just have the charts to show you, but like this owl is real cute. This is like a bunch of just like wintry little minis, and like, honestly, I should probably subscribe to this magazine based on how good this issue of the magazine is. Like, that little squirrel guy, oh my god, look at him. This guy carrying a Christmas tree. So, yeah, those are great. And When I find things like that, I just take pictures of them or screenshots of them if it's a digital magazine, and I put it into Google Keep so that I at least have captured some of the things that I liked. It doesn't mean I'll only stitch those few that I found that I took pictures of, or that I'll even get to those particular ones, but it helps me remember that that series exists in the magazine and that I can go back and look for other ones that might interest me. Next we have from Bent Creek, we have Snowbound. This is a tiny itty bitty pattern and super simple, super fast. I could probably do this in a couple hours. Love that. Also from Bent Creek, we have December Swirls. Again, making Athena crazy because I only have 3 of these and I don't ever intend to have more of them. And I just think that it looks real cool. And that's it. That's all of them. That's all of my winter patterns, all of my yearly patterns. My camera died right as I was saying goodbye to you. I'm too annoyed about it to put in a new battery and film for like 2 more seconds. So, thanks for hanging out with me in this stash dive video. I really appreciate it. And I'll be coming at you next month with I think some like Valentines and love themed patterns. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you have a great month.